internet. It is day 92 of 365, day 44 of Media Fast. Um, so, it is Thursday. Today was one of those really long Thursdays. And the reason behind it, I'm just going to call it the longest Thursday. And I think the reason behind it is because I've been going to every morning prayer this week, and my body is getting used to waking up at like 5:30, 6 a.m. And it's been good because I start the day early, I go to church, and there's been a rhythm. Unfortunately, that rhythm was broken tonight because um so I did fast today. I didn't eat anything, and at some point, I did get lightheaded, which is crazy. So I think it's like waking up that early, not eating, and it didn't really feel that much of a fast because I was just liquid today, and um, but I was just exhausted, and I couldn't make it to tonight's service, so I don't know the insights and blessings, which just feels kind of ironic because, well, not ironic, that's not the word, but I think it's just like there's a part of me that's like, oh man, you said you go every day, every service, and like you missed it. Um, but then I think there's another part of me that's like, you made every morning, you're gonna go tomorrow, and that's fine. Yeah, we have the technology, we have the access. Yeah, see me right now yawning. It's like a combination of there's a little bit of the add a little bit of sleep deprived, add a little bit of hunger. Um, but what was so I am gonna say it because this was interesting. Um, Historically, I have hated my voice. I can't listen to any recording. I can't do it. And I think there's a bit of shame or like embarrassment or the constant cringe of it. But one of the things that I did last night was I actually watched my videos. And I didn't do it on purpose. I mean, there's part of me that still wants to rewatch all these videos, like correspond the day, catch up a year from now. Um, but the reason why is the reason I'm not posting yesterday's video. Because I recorded something, a thought, which I'm like, wow, I need to record it in as many forms as possible because it is a momentous day. And not just because it's April, Fool's Day or the start of April, my birthday month, none of it. It was just coincidentally, like, cool. And I needed to mark it so that a year from now, I don't make the bad April 1st joke, but um, I can, yeah, like, talk about it. So, but the reason is, I've talked about kind of censoring because there's a public nature to my own little corner of the internet. Internet is as internet is. But then I was like, oh, I need to check. I need to check that I didn't give away any previews or spoilers in the day before because it kind of ties in to the stuff that happened the day before. And I watched it. Now, I didn't watch it on YouTube because I'm still like, let's not give myself any views on YouTube. And I watched it. And I was like ready to cringe. And the reason is like one of the reasons this is such a formulaic thing is I'm not editing it. I tried once, and even then I was like, ugh. I, um, but I think it's growth. it's an appreciation of who I am. It's appreciation because that's the irony, right? I'm looking at my YouTube studio page. I'm looking at this, all these thumbnails, and I'm like, ooh, why am I like this? Um, but watching it, I'm like, oh, and it's weird because I'm cognizant that these are my thoughts, these are my words from like days before. And some I do remember, and some I'm like, wow, your brain did not retain any of that. Well, it did and it didn't, because like there's something very specific about, and this is sort of hitting me now. Okay, so this is why I'm saying my fast wasn't that bad. I didn't have any food, but I had like juices like this. So, it gave me enough sugar to strengthen me, but I also did crash because I was like, no energy. Be. Um, what was I saying? Okay, so this is like the limit of technology, the limit of writing down memories versus like memory, because with a memory, like a core memory, using inside out language, it's like you remember the anxiety, you remember the emotion specifically. And sometimes if you look at a picture or you look at something, you can recall the specific emotions, the sights, the smells, the sounds. Um, okay, give a good example. I can't believe this was yesterday, but this was yesterday. Yesterday, I sat outside, um, and I just listened. No headphones, no nothing, not even my own thoughts. I like listened to nature, like listened to the outdoors. I can right now very vividly kind of hear the cars. I can hear after a while the birds. I can hear a lady yapping into her phone, which I'm like, you could have done that, but like I remember her. I remember a couple of joggers, and I remember because, it was like a morning and most people are off at work or whatever. Um, in the parking lot, there was a whole bunch of spaces open, but one car decided to park right next to me, and I was like, bro, that's, I mean, it's not exactly the equivalent, but the first image that popped into my head is like, I am not a guy, but it feels like it sort of feels like what that, like, excuse me, feeling of like, there's 8 urinals and this guy comes right to the one next to me. I imagine. Girls, we have stalls and doors, and even then, I try not to use the stall if like the one right next to me is used, if there's like five open ones. Anyway, I remember the car, I remember the breeze. Yesterday's weather was beautiful. But I bet, even if I watch this like 2 days later from now and listen to myself, I could probably, but it'd be like a distance. Like there's a layer, you know? Like there's something about what you're experiencing in the moment, what you're recalling from memory, and then we're like, oh, I don't remember any of that. But I hear myself talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Like that's fascinating to me. There's probably a scientific word to it, but that's why I need this. This is my pendency. This is my thing of like, oh, I'm not gonna like the emotions. There'll be like a dulling effect as time goes on. But, through technology, I'll keep it. And why did I bring all this up? Because yesterday's I said something which I'm like, ooh, I need to I need to lock that in. Like I did put work into editing it, to making it like, to thinking it through, and then I just had this moment of like, oh no, This one I gotta keep private. Talk about it later, but and this is me acknowledging it. So that's how my Wednesday ended. Today was Thursday. Um, it was a long Thursday. Oh, I babysat today. Here's a, oh, okay. I had, so talk about emotionally, mentally scarring things where I'm like, we're idiots as a species. We're like so dumb. And I don't fault the kid for doing this, but I'm like, I'm done too because I let this happen. Um, we were playing hide and seek, and then we eventually played sardines. Now, if you've never played sardines, it's an extension of hide and seek where one person hides and then everyone hides until, because you're a can of sardines. It's obvious, but not everyone has played. So we're playing sardines and we're all taking turns hiding, which is hilarious because these children are tiny, and even for a woman of my age, I'm huge. So I know the tricks of how to hide. It's mental games. Um, but anyway, a secret tip, but with a certain amount of caution. And this is why this story will follow. And I really, really pray that the parent never finds this, because I didn't tell the parent. Um, this parent is on my list of people who love, but also, like every parent has a right to. They love, but they're also. Oh, did my sound? Okay. No. Oh no. Hold on. Dang it. Ah. Oh, wait. It's resuming. Oh, I don't know. I can't check. Oh. Okay, so I had to stop the recording. I started it again because I thought the sound did the thing that somehow I end up doing where it like turns off, and I just needed to make sure the sound got recorded. So this will be the first where it's like continuation of that. So it will actually require editing. This is edit point. Anyway, so because I don't want to start again. There's sometimes I have where I've done take two and then whatever, but I don't want to start again. I'm just gonna let it run or whatever. Um. Anyway, we're playing babysitting trick, but with caution. I mean, exercise caution doing this because um we're playing sardines. It's one of the kids' turns, and I did again. I'm not telling the parents, so I didn't tell the parents. I don't think it would help to teach them this because I think I've I stressed why you can't. I may have permanently scarred the kids a little bit, but they have to be in regard to what I'm saying. Anyway, to front load all of this, um, we're playing sardines, so these kids are really good at hiding. And as a babysitter, I'm using this as a trick to, as much as I am actively looking, I'm also kind of taking my time, gives me a break. I need to like expand how much activity I exert, anticipation. But there's also, I really recognize there's also this fun of where you're the adult and all the kids want to, kids versus babysitter. I get that. The one of the kids decides, because so far siblings have been crushing it and how they've hidden, and not them, not so much, but they're small enough that they fit inside the washing machine. It's one of the front loading washing machines. They're small enough to fit in it. Sorry, I'm reliving the panic of finding her in the washing machine. It was like, okay, Lilo and Stitch, the original 2002 Disney movie, original. Oh, that movie, man. I mean, I'm thankful it exists, but it's also like all the things you had to change. One of the things they changed is when Layla was hiding from her sister, she originally hid in a washing machine, and they changed the footage to not encourage kids to do that. And I'm like, kids won't actually do that. Kids do that. If you play hide and seek and they want to try to find a small space that they're not, it's kids do that. And this kid, who I'm like, again, sometimes you grow up and you sort of forget proportions, is small enough to like fold themselves into the perfect shape. And obviously, because siblings are like, they're hiding. I'm gonna close this. I'm like, suffocation. Like, psh, psh, psh. Like, dude, what did I allow? And oh yeah, so anxiety kicked in for a while, and I had to stress to them, no, no. Um, so aside from that fear and terror, and then there's the second level of anxiety. I didn't tell our parents because, the several times that I did tell their parents on like, oh, this happened, like just report, because I think, I've always been like parents should know, and you don't ever want to become an adult in their life that doesn't tell parents everything. But the times I had, and then I had like, I don't want to say discipline, but I had stressed as an adult. No, the response hasn't been like, you know what it is, and this is, I need to talk about this with my therapist. Um, it isn't, it's the thing of when you do something that you really should get in trouble for, in the sense of like, you can't do this again. Like, there's no malicious intent, but, or, something happens. Like, let's say you get sent to the principal's office because you were the one being bullied, but because you're in the principal's office, your parent, instead of saying, oh my gosh, are you okay? They go, what's wrong? What did you do? Does that energy make sense? Maybe it's a Korean thing, but I grew up with that energy. Like, there was never first and foremost, I'm happy you're okay. Thank goodness. Now let's talk about what happened. I grew up without that. And I'm pretty sure my parents loved me, but they couldn't show that because they didn't grow up with that. And it's just an ongoing cycle of, oh my gosh, why'd you do that? Why do you not know how dangerous that is? Like, and to some extent, I did see parents express that kind of energy to the kids, and I know, I assume, correction, I assume that if I told about what happened and reported, they would have gotten in trouble, and I would have gotten a, yeah, we can't do that. And I would have been like, inadvertently killed creativity, fun, joy, and like a happy memory because I'm the babysitter who kind of ratted on herself. So I didn't tell the mom, and by extension the dad, about what happened. And the fear. Because at the end of the day, she was okay. And I did stress that they cannot do this. The actual danger of death that can happen from doing this. So that extended my, like, that added a couple of gray hairs to my already limited hair supply. Um, and then I went shopping, in the sense of like, I went to the mall to return something and there was a clearance sale, so I looked around. But at some point, and here's the thing. So as I said, I fasted today. But it didn't feel like fasting because while I didn't eat any solid food, I did have juice, and there is stuff in the juice and coffee. Like it just felt of me of saying I'm not eating solids and remembering that any like hunger or whatever I feel, it's to remind myself to use that time to think about God. And the devotional today, oh, it was so perfect in timing on the topic, and but it was a long day. I also, yeah, long, long day. That was almost the antithesis of yesterday. Yesterday kind of like flew by. Um, a lot happened, but it kind of flew by. Whereas today, a lot did happen, but it was also like long. And yeah. And then I was like, I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:41. Um, it feels like 2 a.m. Anyway, I think it might have been because of that. I had like mini spikes of anxiety because, oh yeah, when I was shopping, at some point I got insanely lightheaded, room spinning, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to pass out. Thankfully, somewhere in my body, in the recess of my memory, I just recognized like, stop, just stop, like, hold, make sure you're okay. Are you okay? Oh no, you're really gonna pass out. Doesn't matter, sit on the ground. Thankfully didn't get there. It was just hold. As unhealthy as I am, I was healthy enough. I had enough stores of fat where my factory, the factory within is like, no, you're gonna be fine. And I was able to make it. But I think that's also probably why I passed out in the sense of like napped as soon as I got home because I just I had nothing. I drove home because I had a decision, it was like an hour and a half-ish before service. And I think if I wasn't in the same sweats from all day, because I wanted to at least look nice. I'm like, oh yeah, just go home. Put on at least some jeans, look put together. People are gonna look put together, and then go back to service. And then I get home, and I'm like, I can't, I'm not like spinning, but like I just feel weak at this point. I got nothing. Tank is on empty. So I'm like, tiny nap. Let's do a tiny nap. I set the Google alarm. I do it. And I do wake up, but I wake up and I'm like, I can't move. And I apologize to God and I just go back to bed and I woke up like an yeah, literally. See, that's how you know a day is long or long feeling wise because I think most of us we go through life and we aren't aware of like the seconds, the minutes that passed. But I can recount every minute until now because even recording this or getting my butt to record this was just it feels like I'm kind of swimming in molasses a little bit. Yeah. But I wanted to. I wanted to end my day doing this. There is a certain joy to it. Day 92, 44. Yeah. I also, why I'm taller is I pushed my deck chair up, which puts me a little, yeah, it's fine. It was a choice. Adjusting the light so it's not so psychedelic, choice. Um, but all these choices. And yeah, I am like really conscious of like, oh yeah, this is part two. I can't talk too long. Hey, why can't I? Who says I can't? This is my own little corner, and I apparently don't hate the sound of my voice anymore. When did that happen? It's, I think I'm just more, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I went through a period where I was just really quiet. No, I don't know. Because even at church, so I won't claim tone deafness. I'm I know I can carry a tune. I also know that I struggle like maintaining it. So it just I'm out of practice. Maybe I'll take a voice lesson. But and I used to be very self-conscious because when you're in church, you're in a big church. Oh, focus. There you go. I'm not muting it because the last time I muted it, everything. So what was I saying? I think one of the areas I was always very self-conscious is like singing at church. Because I'm like, and you're tone deaf. You can't carry a tune. And I can hear it. And I can also hear when other people aren't. And then I'm like, but when you're worshiping and you're just freely worshiping, like honoring God and saying, God, I love you, free of shame, free of perfection and performance, then you don't care. And I've been doing that more and more. Like, I think there's been a maturity there where I'm just like, I allow myself to just experience the beauty of God's majesty and just bask in it. So I think there's been a comfort to my voice more recently. And I do belt in the car. My favorite belty song that I cannot carry or pull off is Les Mis' Bring Him Home. And I think it's because I watched a lot of the concert things, and there's something about when Cole Wilkinson, like the way his mouth shaped, and I'm just like, it's just delicious, that performance. And I think, and it's such a like, because it's a prayer as a song, and I think I just resonated with that. Um, yeah, God, I'm not making fun. Literally, I just like I'm mesmerized, even picturing that performance. There are, I appreciate art like that, where you can just the little things where no one's gonna care about, but I'm like, um, there's a very specific example. Uh, oh, yes, because it's like when people talk game recognizes game. Um, it's in Psych, the show, which I do need to talk about at some point. The USA show, where in season 2, this is how specific I know this, Bianca's Toast, where James Roday is watching the performance of the sorority girl, and you can just see that like he sort of forgot to act, and he's just like loving her performance. But somehow it still fits within the character of the show, but I'm like, no, that was actor. That wasn't character. More recently, uh yeah, because TV is a director's medium, theater is an actor's medium. Um TV movies like, oh, what was it? Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say it because I noticed it. Bridgerton season 4. There's a scene where I'm like, that's not characters, that's actors. But the thing is, it fits perfectly, and I'm not the only one who clocked it. But I was like, that's actors. but it fits with the characters, which is fun. And that's why you don't, you know, if you're able to save it. Another, okay, so this is different than like holding it on and, um, Jim Carrey, series of unfortunate events, when he forgot the line and he was able to stay in character and do it. Um, Actually, this might be both because I forgot the boy's name. I think it's Liam something. Liam Aiken? That would be amazing if that was his name. Uh, See, my brain. So the way he stays in character is both like this is one of those times I'm like, I want to know because his response to Jim Carrey forgetting his line and asking to redo it, because Jim Carrey is still in character, is like, was it actor or was it character? Because it fit. Anyway, I just, if you had captured, if I was in that concert and I was in the audience and you just captured, I'm like, his performance is like, no, this is, I would not be able to act against that performance because the actor would be like, it's just, yeah, bring him home. Anyway, um, words and listening to my own voice. And this day is long, and holy moly, that time just, alright, maybe time's speeding up again. I'm out of the molasses. Um, it's been a long Thursday. I don't know if this is the longest Thursday, but thus far in 2026, it has been. It's not over yet because I'm gonna watch the live stream of the service I missed. And I'm gonna still try to sleep as close to midnight so I can make it to morning prayer. Um, oh, maybe make some stars. Um, yes, maybe tomorrow you won't see this pile anymore. Uh, it's been a long day, but in the gamut of talking about it and recording it, I just, my body, like, I could feel the reaction of my body and the physical, like, oh, release of whatever chemicals released with specific emotions and whatever was released, I'm like, oh, okay. Good night, internet. Whatever this is, I prey upon that you feel it. Because it feels pretty good. Nothing particularly good happened, but I feel pretty good. I haven't taken anything. It's just God-given emotions and hormones and whatever was released. Good night.